nothing special within the technique. The techniques themselves are not special and they are not magic. The magic comes from you and what you do with it. Like, you are the magic, you are the operative power that makes that particular technique magic in itself, because it's what you do with it. Hey guys, if you're new here, then welcome. My name is 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗏 and I talk about everything to do with the law of assumption, manifesting, etc, etc. So let's just get straight into today's video. First thing I have to establish is that any technique that you do, any technique that you love, whatever, any technique is just a tool. It's never because you did that particular technique as to why you manifested that particular thing. A technique is just a tool. Like, that is literally all it is. All it is there for is to get you into that state, into the feeling, into living into the end, into you living in the end of you having that particular thing. It's literally just a tool. There's nothing more to it, and the technique itself does not have power on its own. Understand that first and foremost. Your only goal, no matter what you choose to do, no matter what technique you choose to do, etc, etc, your only goal is to live it internally. Feel those feelings internally. Have your manifestation internally, because that is the manifestation part. It's you doing it internally and coming from a place of that you're not trying to get it on the outside. You don't care about having it on the outside. All you care about is living in it in your mind, having it in your mind, producing those feelings, producing those states, etc. within your mind. That is the manifestation part, and that is where the manifestation takes place internally, because it's all about your state. So you shouldn't be waiting for the manifestation to come outside of you. If your goal is, and if you are coming from a place of, I'm just doing this particular technique because I want to get this particular thing on the outside, and oh, like, I heard somewhere that this is the best technique, and oh, like, you know, all over TikTok or all over YouTube or whatever, like, wherever you found out about this technique, it's the best one. For example, let's say the 369 method, which I know is very big on was at one point very big on TikTok. I don't really know how much it is now, but at one point it was like the technique, like the way to do it, is how people manifest everything that they want, etc, etc. If you see that technique and you think, oh my gosh, wow, like, this is a magical technique, I need to do it because it's going to get me that thing, etc, etc, you are coming from the wrong perspective. No matter what technique, even if people claim the 369 method, for example, is the best, or that scripting is the best, or visualization is the best, no matter what technique, the technique itself is not going to have any power. It's always down to you. It's about what you as yourself, what you do with that particular technique. It's not the technique itself. But if you are doing that particular technique from a place of, I'm just doing it because I want to get this, I want to get that, I want to experience that, and oh, I'm just like in the moment, I'm doing that technique because I'm going to get this, etc, etc, you are coming from it from the completely the wrong place, and it's probably why you haven't manifested that particular thing, or it's taking you so long to manifest that particular thing, because you are using the technique from a different perspective. You're thinking about the technique from the wrong perspective. The whole thing is, if you are wanting something and you are using that particular technique or doing that particular thing because you want something, that is from a state of lack. Wanting something is lack, and the law can only reflect back to you or represent the states, the true authentic states that you have internally, which is why I say that your only goal should be having that thing internally, because by the law, it is the law. What the law has to do is the law has to reflect that back to you on the outside. So yes, you are going to get it on the outside, but if your current state is, I don't have it and I'm doing this particular technique because I want to get it, because I want it, because I need it, etc, etc, your state is of lack, and that is why you don't have it yet. It's taking long to come, etc, etc. If you are coming from a state of lack, you're going to get more lack. Wanting is lack, basically. And you have to understand as well that no technique is special. Like, you can scour the earth. You can scour the earth for days, for years, read as many books as you want, listen to as many different people as you want, find out different things on social media, etc, etc. There is no like one magical technique. There's no one technique fits all. There's nothing special within the technique. The techniques themselves are not special and they are not magic. The magic comes from you and what you do with it. Like, you are the magic, you are the operant power that makes that particular technique magic in itself, because it's what you do with it. It's the same way that a technique is just a tool. It's the same way that, let's say for example, a pencil is just a tool. Two different people, you can take a pencil and you can create art with it. You can create magical things, beautiful things, etc., etc. You can take that same pencil and you can destroy, you can write horrible things, you can create something that's not that nice, you know. It's about what you are doing with that particular technique. That is where the magic is. It's not the technique, it's not the technique itself. You are the magic. Like, you have to understand that first and foremost. It's all about you. So whatever technique that you choose, if the technique is not changing you, and it's not changing your state, then it's not going to work. Like I said earlier, if you're just doing it from a state of lack, you're just doing it because you want to get, etc., etc., it's not going to work. The technique itself has to change you and has to change its state, which is why you can pick any technique that you want. And it's also why different techniques work for different people, because, you know, everyone's different. Everyone has a different way of doing things, but different techniques work differently for different people, because it's about that technique changing you internally and changing your state. It's not that this particular technique is so much better and it works so much better for that many people because the technique itself is good. It might just be that particular technique is easier for people to be able to change their state, to be able to change themselves. That's all it is. So yeah, so whatever technique that you choose, remember this. Remember that I said this to you. Always have it in your mind. Whatever technique that you choose, it doesn't matter what you choose to do. It doesn't matter what technique you love, what you choose to do. The whole point of any technique is to change you internally and to change you into a state of you having that particular thing. The technique needs to change you so that you are coming from a place, you're living in the end, you're thinking from a place of you having that particular thing. So if scripting brings you to a place where you feel where you are coming from a place of you having that particular thing, and you're just reading it as if you are reading your diary about you having that particular thing, not from a perspective of, I need to quickly go in script and I need to read it because by me reading this once a day or twice a day, I'm going to get it. No, you should be so engulfed in whatever that technique is that it is changing you, and it has changed you. It's changing your state. You're reading that script, for example, and it's allowing you to be in the state of you having that thing. You're not reading this because you want it. You're reading it because it makes you feel good. It puts you in that state where it reminds you that you already have that thing. And like I said, the only thing you should ever worry about is about having it internally. So do a technique that makes you feel good within. You don't need to wait for the outside. You shouldn't even need to see it physically yet, because you are so happy with doing it internally, thinking about it internally, contemplating it internally, etc., etc. But the outside doesn't matter. So choose a technique that is going to make you feel that is honestly going to change you and change you forever. Like, the technique should make you a new person, where now, this is your new state. Your new state is you being a person that has that particular thing. It's not just about doing it and then going back to the old state, all that kind of stuff. It should change you internally and change you for good. You should be a new person now that you are doing this particular technique, mental diet, affirmations, whatever. It is changing you for good. You're a new person that now has that particular thing. So yeah, so when it comes to any technique that you choose, that you love, that you think is going to work best for you, etc., etc., always ask yourself, before you pick this particular technique, before you choose to do whatever it is you are going to do, ask yourself, am I doing this particular thing to be changed, or am I doing it to get something from the same state that caused me to want, which is lack, which caused me to want this particular thing? Always ask yourself that. And like I said, choose a technique that is going to change you forever, change you internally to the person that already has that particular thing. And your only goal in whatever technique that you choose to do is to be changed internally and to only have and to only be thinking of the manifestation from a place where you have it internally. Your state has to change for you to be able to experience that particular thing. So yeah, I hope this video has helped you guys, and I will see you in the next one.